Hey, it's Zubu, and today we're playing a demo for a game called Ware's Laboratory. It's developed by VNDI or Vindy, I'm not sure, and you can find the game on Steam. This developer reached out to me through email a while back and asked me to try their demo, and I apologize for taking so long to get to it. I try to be really prompt when it comes to developers reaching out, but honestly it slipped my mind and I apologize for that. Also, if you're not familiar with my channel, at the end of the video I will review the game, share my general thoughts, give it my final judgment, and I will have timestamps in the description. Now I'm going to go ahead and tell you about the game and then we'll get started. In Ware's laboratory, anti-piracy measures are now active. Your game has turned into a nightmare. Crawl through corrupted levels, read notes from a malicious developer, and face the nature of evil itself. Now that you know what the game is about, we'll go ahead and hit play demo. I'm trying out a controller for this because it supports controllers, and I figured we'd try it out. It's going to be sort of like an N64 style game, so I'm excited to try it out. And thanks again for reaching out. I appreciate the opportunity. So let's play demo. Note 1 or level 1? What's the difference? Note 1. Okay, let's read this, I guess. The commodification of art discourages creative experimentation. When the AI boom had started, I used to think about it this way. If it's easier to make your project look nice, people will start valuing original visions and ideas much more. And I was dead wrong. It's as if nobody cares. Generally, people don't want creativity. They don't value art. They only want generic, nice pictures. They simply need more content. I'm starting this project, and I don't even know where I'm going to end up, in need of money bigger than ever, which is not an expected consequence of starting your adult life. Yet I am still too naive, or perhaps romantic, to not be able to betray my creativity for profits. Sometimes my brain acts against my own interests. I feel you on that, brother. My advice to everyone is, if you just need money, don't become an independent artist. But if my life has morphed into something where I am unable to do much else for a living, well, now I must find a way to pay the bills with my only skills. I say if you want to pursue art, I think you should, but everybody's got to make a living somehow. I totally understand what you're saying. Unless that's more from the perspective of the character, I'm not sure. I believe it is. So, this looks cool. Whoa. Okay, I'm kind of just getting a feel for things. Art is a reflection of the artist. I need to find something that fits in here. Alright, there's like 3 little thingamajiggies here. Oh, we can jump. Look at that. Woo, woo. I'm just kind of hitting buttons to see what they do. I guess let's start looking around. Great music, by the way. The music on the main menu is solid, and I'm liking this. It's a good start. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. What happened? Something chasing me? Oh. We have a sprint? I mean, we're already pretty quick, but... Oh, no. I guess we need to look around for stuff while he's chasing us. The camera is so slow. Ugh. Leave me alone. I don't know where he is. I hear him. I'm not sure how his pathing works either. He's like kind of locked to us and we'll pick the shortest path. Ooh. Alright. Gotta get comfortable. I sit different when I use a controller. It's like down, you know, down in my lap rather than my hands up on the keyboard, so. I've let you down. Okay, that's alright. I forgive you. Oh, there's some. Oh, we might be trapped. Hurry! Hey. Oh. You fell into the floor, okay? So close. Okay. Let's go this way. I'm really into the vibe of this game. What am I doing? Let's go this way. Oh. I jumped. I didn't like that. We'll say that The music here is kind of like the pursuit music is kind of droning, a little too redundant. All right, I need to juke him. Gosh, kind of reminds me of like Legend of Zelda kind of stuff. Obviously, I know that's a big inspiration, or like N64 games is a big inspiration for this game. So interact. So do I need to continue going into this maze? This wall looks different. I will... something you. I don't know why I couldn't read that. Dear God. Let me alone, monster. It's like a skating animation. It's like doing an ollie. Do a kickflip. Oh God. Oh, here we go. All right, yeah. So they randomly spawn. All right, nice. I think this game is from the perspective of like a game developer, and I think that's, I assume what that note was basically referring to. It seemed very personal, but you know, I probably misconstrued that. All right, well, if I was the third one, I would probably be on this side. Oh man, it's right there. All right, follow me. Follow me. Okay. Nice, let's get out of here. This maze is dangerous. Okay. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Here we go. That's a pretty spooky character. I like that. Here we go. Now what? We pull this thing, or what is that? Wasn't there a door? Oh. Okay, that's one of the levels. I believe there's 4 levels. Okay, we have note 2. Alright, let me move my mouse out of the way. To be honest, as a NEET, I feel a lot of shame. I'm not sure what that is. I feel guilty for not making money, for having to be supported by my parents. At the same time, when I think about having a normal job, corporate culture, soft skills, human resources, shut up. I am sick of you. I hate this system where people have to lie about themselves to meet some random criteria. I hate insecurity. I hate the idea of being controlled every day. This is straight up depressing. Yeah. Maybe this exact approach made me so unlikable in school. This may have led to me gaming instead of hanging out with friends, or making these friends in the first place. This may have led to me being too anxious to try to get into a university, and now I'm left with just my art and loneliness. And I can't enjoy creating it because I have to make money with it. But as a rule of thumb, it is not enough to only make a good game. You have to be a great developer and a great salesperson. Nobody can see how cool something is if they don't know about it. That's true, and I see plenty of people who pirate anything, even when they can afford it. They do it simply because they can. This is one of the most disrespectful things towards creators. I second that. Now, if it's like, it's a mixed bag. I don't personally pirate games. I'm not into the whole concept. People justify it with going after like big corporations for like not porting games or whatever. I mean, it's still illegal, I guess, for the most part, and I don't know. If you could just buy the game, just buy it. I agree with you on that. People look more at the corporation at fault and don't think about everyone that actually works there, all the artists and creators and stuff. So it's definitely, I think, a detriment in the long run. Anyways, and I absolutely despise it. Creating some kind of anti-piracy protection might not be the most efficient way to spend my resources, but hey, might as well do something out of principle. Just because I think it is the right thing to do, isn't that what we lack in our world? Yes. Now, my logic may be a little misshaped, but I can always make changes down the road. See you later. I see. All right, we got a new level. Look at this. Looks like an egg. Ay! Ah! Don't touch me. Do we need to hatch all the eggs? Oh, God. Huh? He went, ah! There we go. Might have to wait to get that one. It's in the corner. Hey! They're creepy spiders. I don't like those kind of spiders. Ah! Oh, the sunlight kills them. Okay, I just realized that. Or maybe not. I thought it did. Can I jump over this? No. That's weird. Okay. Look out! I was like, how are they dying earlier? This noise is, something. Or maybe we get them to come together, they die. Oh, they kill each other. Okay. Yeah, gotcha. Nice. Pretty straightforward. I really like the jump. Whoa, here we are. Oh no, it's inverted. Why is it inverted? Oh, this is gonna really screw with me. Okay, here we go. Oh, even the camera's inverted. Yes. This is weird. The X reminds me of Super Mario Sunshine. Ah! No! My brain! I think I died. This is tough, dude. Alright. Right is left and left is right. I think he's still after me. Like a floating gorilla head. Oh. Alright, I think I did it. Yeah, we did it. That was tough. That was an interesting little spin there with the inversion there. That was tough for me. Alright, this is note 3. I try to fight my problems. I try to analyze my flaws. I try to convince myself to live a better life. The problem is, as always, that I lack money. And anyone to listen to me. Anyone to understand me. Well, yeah, that's why I'm writing this. You pirated this game, and now you have to read about my tribulations? Sounds fair. Though honestly, analyzing my feelings doesn't seem to help me make a better game. Sometimes I write code, or something, and then I look at the results and hate myself. In my imagination, everything looks much better until I start thinking about the details. And one of the biggest fears is that my game just won't be very good. That it will be obviously worse than my sources of inspiration, and nobody will like it. And nobody will like me. I probably don't even come off as very likable in my own notes. I understand what this dude's going through. It's hard to have confidence in something that you're just not sure of, that just hasn't come to fruition yet. Like, how do you have confidence in something that you're working towards? You just don't know how it's going to turn out, so it makes you doubt yourself. And I think that's very relatable for a lot of people. That's why a lot of people don't pursue things they're passionate about. They're just afraid to fail, or it might be all for nothing, and I think they have, generally speaking, people have the wrong idea in mind when it comes to creating something you enjoy. I think the journey of creating it and crafting your vision and pursuing the passion is what makes it worth it. Because at the end of the day, if you never do it, that will be far more impactful on you that you never tried than actually trying and potentially failing, or finally figuring it out. Never trying is the worst thing you can do. At least that's my 2 cents. I've dealt with a lot of stuff in my life personally. I don't mean to like get all into this, but this is really making me think, where I've made poor choices. I've destroyed friendships. I've alienated myself from my friends, and I've done all kinds of really stupid stuff when I was younger. And, you know, I've tried to just move on and make myself better from it, because at the end of the day, if I live in the past, then I'll never be able to move forward. And nobody will. And that doesn't excuse, you know, making faults or making mistakes, but it should never define you as a person. Like I said, I really try to be a genuine, honest person. And while I should have done that or worked more towards that when I was younger, that's just part of life. You know, it was just the circumstances of my behavior at the time, and now I am where I am. I'm pursuing something I've always wanted to do. I should have done it back then. I hung around the wrong crowd. I convinced myself that they were my friends, and they never really were. And that's unfortunate, but as long as you are genuinely trying to do something better for yourself, focus on yourself, and better yourself, I think you're going to turn out just fine. You just have to keep trying. Anyways, that's just my perspective. I'm not content with what I have. I always want more. But here's the issue. If you want more than you ever had, your every step must be directed towards somewhere you have never been. And I am too insecure for that. I don't think I can really change my life for the better, but I still try every time, like I believe I can succeed, like a little inexperienced merchild. Please like my game. Alright. Level 3. I don't usually share a lot about myself on here, to be honest, but I figured I would. I'm just a dude, just chilling, pursuing something I've always wanted to do. I've had a lot of great moments and a lot of inspirational feedback and support doing this from everyone that watches and subscribes and everything, and I'm very grateful for that. I would have never had that if I never tried. And I really need it. I needed it when I started my channel. I was in a pretty low place, and I feel much better for doing this. Alright, I saw like 4 squares at the beginning. We need to obviously find something. What is this bizarro thing? These have all static on them. Kind of weird machines. Thought maybe I could walk up that. What's this? Not really sure what's going on in this room. Here's something. Really cool vibes. Really into this. Hope it's okay that I shared some of that. With my channel, I've tried not to be like too personal or share too much about myself. I'd rather just kind of focus on the games I'm playing and the reviews that I'm doing. No, but I thought that was a good opportunity. Where were those? There we go. Once again, I must find the missing pieces. Yeah. These screens are very strange. They don't seem to do anything. This room is absolutely enormous. It doesn't seem like I can sprint. I've said that a couple times now, but... Uh-oh. Is it a new entity? Hello? Yeah, I sit around and I think about all the mistakes I've made and all the people who I cared about that just pushed away. But, you know, living in the past is something that my mind just really tries to stay away from. But I acknowledge my mistakes is what I'm saying. I've always tried to be that kind of person where it's like, yeah, I know I messed up. Trust me. Oh, okay, you can see him. Oh, you can use those to locate him. That's pretty cool. So he's invisible on this level. Okay. And thankfully the screen, like you've noticed, probably gets wider as he's closer to you. That's pretty cool though that we can find out where he is. I don't know, it's hard to put things into perspective. Life is weird and difficult. Pretty much for everybody. So I think that's why art and video games, pursuing your passions, is incredibly important. The human condition is tough, like I said, so I think the more we create, the more we share and interact with each other and whatnot, I think it helps all of us grow in some way. I think that's really beneficial in the grand scheme of things. Wallowing in misery is not going to be for anybody. It's not going to get us anywhere. Oh! It's right behind me. I always try to tell developers, like this developer here, I'll tell you the same thing. I think you should keep making games. I think you should keep experimenting, trying to mold your vision, trying to find what works for you. And you might fail, you might get frustrated, you might not be able to figure it out or get too up in your head about it, but I think if you keep doing it, you're gonna figure it out. It's just a matter of time. So don't doubt yourself. Once again, I must find the missing pieces. All caps now. Oh, the room's changed. Okay. I've been kind of doing the same route all the way around just because... Uh-oh. Alright, let's use this computer and see if we can find him. Alright, there he is. I figured maybe it would be... You know, if you played enough old games of this style, you kind of get the idea of, like, if an item is in this room, in this corner of the room, then most likely the other item will be on the other corner of the room. And, you know, yada yada. So, eventually you kind of get an idea of, okay, well, I don't need to look that far again. I'll go this way again. Anyways, I'm just rambling. Whatever. I want to say... Since this room changed, maybe it's over here. I don't know. Probably I should double check this, though. Double check it. Oh, there it is. Okay, yep. Excuse me, I got the hiccups. Oop, missed it. Ah! Oh. The screen is white now? Maybe that... Okay, I see what I... I'm having a brain fart. At this point, since our screen is white, we wouldn't actually... be able to see our screen warning us where the enemy is. I assume that's what your approach is with that. Oh! What was that? Alright, we have note 4. You can't trust your bad feelings at night. You're too tired to think straight about all the zigzags. It's also a bit lonely. The only people I talk online to are normal and are now asleep. But despite my brain telling me everything will fail, nights feel liberating. Yeah. For real. I'm a night owl. I like being up at night because it's quiet. And I'm the only one around. Or I'm the only one awake is what I should say. I woke up a few minutes ago. It's 3:01 a.m. Sometimes it's not even in bed at this time. Sometimes I'm not even in bed at this time. But today I got lucky and my mind allowed me to just fall asleep for a bit. And I don't want to sleep again. Right now I am free to do anything I want. I'm sorry. I'm jumbling my words. In the morning, I will have to work again. Every day, I go to bed and hope that everything will somehow be okay when I wake up, and then everything still isn't okay. A miracle is yet to happen. I wouldn't rely on miracles, but you should definitely just take your life one day at a time. Don't think too hard about, oh, if tomorrow's going to be different, tomorrow's going to be different. That'll drive you crazy. I have no real achievements. I am pathetic. I am unemployed. Self-unemployed. I've never heard that. That's funny. I am ashamed of asking for money to buy antidepressants, and everything is going the predictable way. I feel like my life was alright once, and it will also be alright at some point. But now, the only thing I can do is hold on to my past and my possible future. When you face a lot of unrealistic expectations, you can't be yourself because no person can be perfect at everything. That is true. Anyways, I still feel like a teenager, even though everyone suddenly started treating me like an adult. I feel that. Not now, but I've had that same thought where I was like, I don't know, my mind felt young, and then just time kept going by, and I was like, I guess I'm an adult now, but I still feel like it's a weird thing. Anyways, maybe I should just go on with that anti-piracy stuff. It can't give me a chance not to become impoverished. So never mind my negativity. I'm still trying. Never give up, and always buy my games. That's right. Buy his games. Never give up. All right, we got level 4. It's the last level. Oh, it's like atomic green.
Stay.
Oh.
When. Join.
Die.
What?
Fate.
Oh. What'd they say? Uh-oh. I can't jump that high. Hiya! Hiya! Man, this jump is spooky. Oh no. Oh, okay. Let's get the padding down. Jump in the middle. I'm getting ahead of myself. Nice. Oh, I'm glad I timed that correctly. Uh-oh. Alright, we gotta wait for it to come back. Is this gonna fade away and disappear? Is it changing colors? I can't tell. Oh, crap! Oh! Dang it, I was doing so well. Hurry up! Whoa, God. I'm so glad the jump is floaty, because I would have fallen many times by now. Whoa, here we go. Oh. Oh. Dang it. I did like a 360 there, too. That was funny. Gosh, man. My depth perception is betraying me. Alright, we're going to get it this time. Oh. Sorry for all the weird noises. Ah, man. Oh, man. Shoot, we're going to get it. We're going to get it. Let me calm down. Focus. You won with the weird hellscape that we're in. Alright, we got it. Alright. Got it. Oh. What? What in the... I can fly! What? This is nutty. What is going on? Wow, this is like crazy looking, dude. I didn't expect this. This is cool. Pirate. Thank you for playing the demo. Let's meet in the full version. More levels, more scary glitches, more traumatized people, higher price. Higher? Wait, you didn't pay for the demo, did you? Well, you should pay for the full game. See you! Alright, dude, nice. Alright, well now I'm back in the main menu where I'll review the game, share my general thoughts, and give it my final judgment, and keep in mind, these are just my opinions. Alright, visually, I really like the game visually. I think it encapsulates like an N64 retro style very well. I like the level design, the overall textures and models and colors and everything you used. I think everything was very striking and different enough between each level where it really piqued my interest going into it, like what can I expect? And the overall visual presentation, I think, is really solid. Honestly, I don't really have any problems with it. I'm really easy to please with visuals, though. But I will say I just really like the overall vibe this game had, especially with its visual presentation. I like the character model. I like the monster being this weird kind of zombie thing. I hope to see maybe more monsters in the full game. The glitching and horror elements throughout, I think, were pretty effective as well. And I like just the attention to detail, the different textures, like I said, and, you know, weird sort of monoliths and stuff in that really big room that we were in with the invisible monster. I like all of that. And then, of course, the bright green, sort of atomic green level there towards the end, all really well put together. I like the use of colors throughout. I think that really creates a very dynamic experience, so great work there. In terms of audio, the audio in this game I would say is pretty solid as well. It's mostly music. The music really stands out to me. It's very calming. It's very alluring. It makes me really think about the overall themes and vibe this game is trying to portray. I think the main menu music does a good job of creating that initial feeling. And then throughout the game, the music is very reminiscent of days of old with old games on the N64 and whatnot. And I really like it. I really like the music. It's a nice vibe. And of course, when you have the enemy, when he's around and, you know, pursuing you, there's sort of like a repetitive sort of droning sound. I'm pretty sensitive to that. I didn't really particularly like that part of it, but maybe if you adjust that in some way, it might not be so grating. But if that's the way you want to do it, that's totally fine too. That's just my personal nitpick when it comes to that. I like the weird glitching, like I said, and then like the voice at the end, like fear or fear. It said pirate, and I like that. So I'm looking forward to seeing what other uses of sound you have in mind when it comes to the horror elements, because I think what you did here worked really well. So great job. Now, in terms of mechanics, it's pretty straightforward. We have to just locate these items to put into something in the wall to progress the level. At least the first level was that way. And then the level where it basically inverts your controls, where left is right and right is left and, you know, whatnot. I thought that was pretty creative and it made for a challenge. And then, of course, you know, had a weird monkey head thing chasing you around, and you had to, you know, figure out how to use your controls to get through the X's on the walls. I liked that. It was kind of like a pursuit maze level, and I think that worked really well. Of course, you get to the really big room, you have to find objects again to put into the wall, but this time the enemy is invisible. You still have the white sort of like vignette on your screen that gets more intense as the enemy is closer to you, but you can use the consoles around the room to reveal his location and also where his point of view is. That might have been more effective if it didn't just flat out reveal him and it just focused on you seeing him from his perspective. So every time you, okay, let's say you walk up and use a console, you know where he is based on where he's looking, and then he stays invisible. That might have been more effective, and maybe you plan on doing that, but I found it odd that the computers would reveal him. And then once you find all the pieces and the whole room turns white, I assume that's to shroud the vignette of him being close to you, but I was still able to see him. So it felt a little contradicting in that regard, but I think that room was still pretty well put together, it being so large, and I like the focus on having an invisible enemy just to mix it up some, but having him be revealed by the consoles felt contradicting. At least that's how I see it. Otherwise, there's some platforming elements, which I enjoyed, and I thought it was fun. I got a little ahead of myself, and I kept falling and failing on that platforming section, but it was still a good time. So overall, I would say the game mechanically, while simple, I think is enjoyable and definitely sets up a decent foundation for what we can expect in the full game. I'm hoping to see a little bit more puzzle variations and enemy variety. I think that would be a nice welcome sight, but I enjoyed what we did here today. I thought it was fun. Now, in terms of story, I guess it's just basically from the point of view of a nearly self-loathing developer trying to encapsulate their idea into a form that is either beneficial to video games and the overall art of video games and preserving them, and also having a commentary on piracy of games and how they hate that and they think it's bad. Now, I agree that piracy is not a good thing. It is something people like to excuse, like I said, because they think they're hurting a corporation, which makes it okay to them, and I just don't particularly agree with that. I think it's just kind of whack just to steal or pirate games or anything and justify it just in general. I don't really care how bad the company is. I just don't think you should involve yourself with that kind of behavior, I guess. That's just my 2 cents on it. If I can't buy a game the right way legally, then too bad. I just won't play it. That doesn't excuse the corporations for either holding on to source codes or not porting games or allowing people to play games on certain consoles or whatever the issue may be. My approach would be just to say that sucks, but I'm not going to defend the corporation either. Like, both can be true. But I'll just go on and play something else. Like, I've been wanting to play Bloodborne forever, but I'm not going to go out of my way to go find an old PS4. I'd much rather the game be ported to PC or something, and it may never happen, but that's okay. And of course, I could buy a PS4 on eBay or something, but at the same time, I'm not going to be like, well, if I can't get it the way I want it, then I'll just pirate it. I'm not going to do that either. So I'm definitely all there with you when it comes to anti-piracy and stuff. I mean, it is illegal, I would say, I assume in all states, at least in the US, I'm speaking for, but I just think if you're going to go out of your way and think you're kind of a cool kid for doing piracy, then, I mean, you can do whatever you want, but I don't think it's a good idea. Like I said, you might be sticking it to a corporation or something in your mind, but there are people who work for that corporation who may need people to actually fund their projects and buy their product and to continue them having a job. So if everyone just starts pirating everything, then you're hurting a lot more people than just some corpo suit guy up at an office somewhere. So just keep that in mind. But like I said, to each their own. So story-wise, it's very intriguing and thought-provoking. I shared a bit about myself, which I don't generally do. I think it can be therapeutic to do that every once in a while, vent a little bit. And, you know, there's not been a lot of cheerleading in my life, at least from, you know, so-called friends and whatnot growing up. But I don't hold anything against people who moved on and found new friends, or, you know, had different things happen in their life, and then they just didn't have time to be friends with me anymore. Like, that's just part of life. It doesn't feel good, but at the end of the day, that's just the way it is. And I have to be mature and grow up and move on and handle myself and take care of myself and make that my focus. I don't need to be hamstringed by worrying about what could have been better, how I could have been better. Of course, I have thought of those things, and there are ways to improve yourself far beyond what you thought possible, and just sitting around and worrying about it and living in regret is just not going to do anybody any good. So if you have the same experiences like me, or you might have them in the future, just keep your head up and you're going to do just fine. Just hang in there, be yourself. You're going to have bad days. That's okay. Like I said, life is tough, but I think if you're genuinely trying just to be a better person, just to be yourself, everything's going to work out just fine. Anyway, sorry again for going on a little tangent, but the overall story I think is fine. I like reading what this developer's perspective is, the developer in the video game that we're playing. We're stuck in his nightmarish game, and it might be a reflection of their mood or just their psyche in general, and it's showing up in the game, and it's sort of like haunting them in some way. I'm not really sure. It's very esoteric and I think up for interpretation, but I like what you set up with the notes. It gets you into a mindset where it's relatable in some degrees, and I think it's touching on particular subjects that I think other people would like to think about. It's definitely a nice thought experiment to be had here with the anti-piracy angle of things, and also just how to carry yourself and pursue things that you enjoy doing. Is it worth it? Is it not? I think that it's a nice thought experiment. And I think, like I said, works really well with the overall vibe of the game. So I have no problems with the story. I'm curious where it's going to go, but like it's charming in some ways. It's kind of dark in other ways. And if you'd like to think about it that way, at least that's how I'm seeing it, at least from my experience. And conceptually, I think the game is pretty solid. I enjoy the style they're going with here. I like the inspirations of N64 games and whatnot really showing. I like it when inspirations show like that. At least for me, they do. I've seen games, I use Silent Hill as an example all the time, but this game is inspired by Silent Hill. And then you see the game and you go, like, where is it? You know, I'm not trying to bash anybody for that, but I do see a lot of things say they're inspired by something. And to me, it doesn't convey very well. But I think you did a good job with that in this department. It came together really well. It's got a nice vibe, like I keep saying. It's got a nice look about it. It's got a familiar, nostalgic look about it with its own charm. So conceptually, I think the game is pretty solid. I like the platforming elements and all that jazz too, and I think it comes together really well. So story and concept, I think, are really solid. Now, in terms of performance and settings, performance was great. I had no problems with it at all whatsoever, and we'll go ahead and talk about the options here a little bit in this segment. So we have the controls here, which is very big, easy to read though, so I appreciate that. This is your actions and inputs. This is for keyboard and gamepad, I assume. So mine's set for Xbox. I guess that's by default. I'm not 100% sure, but I assume you could probably use any controller, if I'm not mistaken. So it's good to see that. You can rebind these as well, so that's great. Then you have your gameplay settings here, which is your mouse sensitivity, joystick sensitivity. I probably should have changed this because the camera speed was very low, but I kind of forgot that this was here, so that's my bad. And gameplay speed. I wonder what that is. Like how fast the platforms move and stuff like that. I'm curious about that. I'm not really sure. Anyways, you have your audio settings, master, music, and sound effects volume. And you can also mute the game, which is strange. So there's that. And then for video settings, you have your CRT shader and your VSync. So the settings are pretty basic, but I think acceptable for this demo. The game performed fine. I think the audio mixing is pretty decent. I have no real issues with that. And overall performance of settings, I would say, are pretty good. Well, my final judgment for the Ware's Laboratory demo is, I would say it's an excellent game, and it's at the top of my scale. I enjoyed every aspect of this game. A thought-provoking story, nice, appealing visual presentation, strong audio design when it comes to its music and overall atmosphere and vibe that this game is portraying. Mechanically, the game is fun and engaging. While simple, I think it's still a good time. Like I said, its story is very intriguing, and the performance and settings are pretty well done and put together. So I'm usually pretty picky when it comes to putting a game at the top of my scale, but for a demo, this is very effective. It gives the player a lot to experience and a nice taste of the story and just the overall feel, and it presents itself very well. Honestly, think you did a great job with this. If I had any issues with it, you might have seen my content before. Usually developers that reach out, I assume have seen what I do. If I had any issues with it, I'd tell you. So I think you did great with this, and I'm looking forward to what you have in store for the full game. I think this has a lot of potential, and I hope you keep at it and stick to your guns and keep doing what works for you. And I think your vision here is really interesting, and I like what you're doing. So thanks again for reaching out and asking me to play your demo, and I really appreciate the opportunity, and I really mean this, that I really like what you're doing. So keep your head up if you're having a bad day or anything like that, and just focus on what you're doing, and everything's going to turn out just fine. I promise you. So keep up the great work, and I wish you the best of luck on your future endeavors. Tell me what you think in the comments below. What are your thoughts on this game? Do you agree or disagree with me? Do you have anything to add? If you just want to say hi, let me know what's up. And don't forget to check the pinned comment below for the links to everything, and go play this game for yourself and form your own opinion. And if you'd like to support my channel, hit subscribe, leave a like, comment, and share the video. I'd greatly appreciate that. And I thank you for watching my video. I hope you have a wonderful day, and I think that's all I have to say about it. So thanks for hanging out with me, and don't forget,